Stardew Valley is a massive game filled with so many things to do and places to see. With that, it is also an incredibly beautiful game, and walking around the world always provides breathtaking views. Today, I want to do something a little silly. As someone who loves making top 10 videos about random things, and as somebody who just absolutely loves bridges, let's go ahead and highlight the incredible bridges of Stardew Valley as I go over my top 10 favorite ones. Let's get started. In the number 10 spot are the various bridges in the Cindersap forest. This entire location is south of the farm and west of Pelican town and does feel like a forest. The Wizard's Towers are located here alongside the Hat Mouse house, alongside the entrance to the Secret Woods, and some other things as well. One of the most prominent features of this area is the end of the river that flows through Pelican town that goes through this entire area, branching off in one area before rejoining to then form a waterfall. The vibes of this entire location is just incredible and I love it a lot, but because of the geography around here, it would be a little difficult to navigate under normal circumstances, which is why there are 5 bridges located around here that allow a player to get from one part of the forest to the other across the river. I love going onto the little islands and then over towards the location where all of the spring onions grow, and I just love walking through here in general because it has a nice vibe. In the number 9 spot are the Ginger Island dig site bridges. These are located on the northern part of Ginger Island right before you get to the volcano. The dig site itself is located across a small stream that has a broken bridge. In order to repair it, you need 10 golden walnuts that are obtained in a variety of different ways all across the island, which is already a really cool thing, but once you get into the dig site, you can see even more bridges. First, there is an entire stream going through this area, splitting the dig site into 2 halves, and there are 2 appropriately placed bridges allowing one to cross from one side to the other. They serve a pretty important purpose because the other side of the dig site has a bunch of stuff that you can get which wouldn't be able to be accessed without these bridges. In the number 8 spot is the Beach Farms Southern Bridge. Most people should be familiar with the standard type of farm that you play on, but there are of course a wide variety of different types of farms that you can pick from that can really change up how you play through the entire game. One of which is the beach farm, which features a limited amount of space to grow plants in and a ton of beach all around it. A cool aspect about each farm is that no matter which one you pick, you can still access the different areas of the valley in about the same spots that you would expect with the standard farm. In the southern part of each farm, there is an entrance to Cindersap Forest, but in the beach farm, it is across a bit of water. To get across, there is a small little wooden plank bridge that will take you to a tiny island in the middle of the water, then another little plank bridge to take you all the way. This entire thing is just a really fun detail with this farm that really makes it feel unique and different than the other farms, while perfectly hitting the vibes of this being a beach. In the number 7 spot are the Ginger Island West River bridges. The western part of Ginger Island is one of my favorite locations in the game, with a bunch of fun stuff located around here combined with a terrain that is just really fun to navigate through. A major feature of this location is the river that is running through this entire area from the north down to the south. In the southern parts of the map are 3 smaller bridges located at different parts of the river that allow one to easily navigate from one side to the other. They are pretty simple and straightforward, but just provide a nice connection between the 2 parts while allowing the ability to have a river come through here, which is fantastic aesthetically, but also important mechanically as it allows players to plant crops along the river that can be irrigated, such as rice. In the number 6 spot are the Riverland and Hilltop farm bridges. Combining a few ideas together into one spot, we can see these bridges that are pretty similar in idea to one another. Returning to the idea of unique farm types, with how we had the beach farm have a unique bridge that leads to a specific location, we can see a number of different bridges located all throughout these farms that players can use in order to navigate each farm. In the Hilltop farm, there's a river going through this entire area that basically splits the farm in half, and along it are 4 different bridges that are just really fun to see present along the river and help make this farm feel unique. But the idea of bridges is even more dramatic in the Riverland farm, as the entire farm is basically a bunch of different islands that are all connected to each other. They serve basically the same exact purpose for the same exact idea as the Hilltop bridges, but feel maybe slightly cooler just because there are so many of them all across the farm. In the number 5 spot are the Ginger Island suspension bridges. This is a unique type of bridge that can be found in a few different areas of Ginger Island. Returning back towards the dig site, you can go up the stairs to find a suspension bridge that leads towards the west along the river. I find the design of this bridge just super cool, and I love how it is hanging high above the river. If this was real life, I would definitely be a little nervous trying to cross this bridge. But then there is another one to the east of this area that you have to go over to access a couple of golden walnuts, which I think is super fun. Plus, this area can be seen very early on in your adventures through Ginger Island, as you have to run under this bridge to get to the volcano, and then you can finally go across the bridge once you unlock this area. But back towards Ginger Island West, along the river that goes through this entire area, you can find another suspension bridge up to the north of this place, pretty far north of where the other river bridges we talked about earlier are, and this one is pretty similar in vibes to the first suspension bridge we talked about, as it is just high up over the river and also looks very cool. In the number 4 spot are the Mountain Island bridges. In some ways, this location feels kind of similar to Cindersap Forest, but is much cooler in many other ways. The mountain can be found north of Pelican Town and features several different important things around here, such as the entrance to the mine. In the center of this entire area is a large lake that many players should be familiar with, alongside 2 islands in the lake. The islands are fun to get to with the 2 different types of bridges here that let you navigate through here. Players who have done a lot of fishing here probably remember going across these bridges to reach the center of the lake. There is also then another bridge that is added to this area when you purchase the Town Shortcuts community upgrade, which can help players navigate through this entire location. In order to get to the mines, there's also a little bridge that goes across this little stream. On paper, it may seem a little random, but this stream actually plays a pretty important role in incorporating a unique mechanic into the lore of the game. There is a giant glittering boulder here blocking the stream coming from the mine, which can be removed upon completing the fish tank bundles in the community center. Lore-wise, removing this boulder allows minerals from the mine to flow across the valley, which mechanically lets players pan for said minerals. Then there's also another short bridge connecting the river that is feeding into this lake, which is fun and also leads to another bridge that deserves its own spot. In the number 3 spot is the Quarry Bridge. This is one of the biggest bridges in the entire game, and it connects the very cool quarry on the eastern side of the mountains to the rest of the mountains to the west. It covers a large chasm, which looks incredible, and we don't have too many examples of environments exactly like this in Stardew Valley, which makes this entire place unique. I love all the holes in the earth that maybe drop down into somewhere interesting, but there are also nice details with the rocks alongside the bones of unfortunate animals and adventurers who potentially fell into this chasm and died. As such, going across this bridge just feels very cool, not only with how it leads to an incredible area, but because of all the work that went into what is simply an artistic background. But the bridge itself is really cool, and it is a massive bridge in comparison to most of the other bridges that we see around the game. It has a nice, simple design, but still feels much more extravagant compared to the other bridges that we can find around the valley and beyond. Additionally, there are 2 different versions of this bridge, because whenever you start a save, the bridge is broken and unable to be crossed. In order for the bridge to be repaired, the farmer needs to complete the craft room bundle in the community center, which will let the bridge be repaired and thus allow access to the quarry. And I love this entire system, with the quarry being a unique area that can only be accessed by progressing through the game. In the number 2 spot is the Beach Plank Bridge. This is a bridge that I'm sure a lot of people are probably confused why I have it so high up on this list compared to other ones, but it is just a bridge that I have a very strong affinity for and love a lot. The beach is located south of Pelican Town and is pretty much exactly what you would expect with a beach, but also featuring a really cool dock that also has Willie's incredible house on it. I love the vibes of just coming to the beach and foraging around here, but I also love the vibes of going onto the docks and walking around here while doing some fishing. This is also a nice place to come to during the night markets and dance with the Moonlight Jellies, as this location gets changed up a lot with a ton of fun stuff going on and new decorations. But there is an entire eastern side of the beach that feels pretty similar to the western side, but also feels very unique. But to get across, you need to build a bridge. Straight away, this just feels very cool because it is a bridge that you yourself are building. You need to go out, collect some wood, come to this location, and use the wood to build the bridge. And upon doing so, you unlock the rest of the beach, which for me at least feels pretty rewarding. I love going out and getting wood as soon as possible when I start a new save to access this area to begin foraging the stuff around here to sell. I know it's probably not the most optimal way to do things, but it's just what I enjoy doing, so I do it. Plus, unlocking this place grants access to another very cool looking dock and some other stuff all around here, which is fun. The bridge itself is just so simple, with it basically being a wooden plank, but despite the simplicity, all the various other factors come together to create what is truly a special bridge for me. But now for the number one spot, for my favorite bridge in all of Stardew Valley, and is maybe the most obvious and classic of any of the bridges that anyone could think of, because it is the bridges in Pelican Town. Pelican Town is fun because it has the river going through it that starts from the mountain and leads to both Cindersap Forest as well as the beach, with the town being along the river on either side of it. The villagers need a way to get from one location to the other, and that is obviously through the use of bridges. Now, really quickly, there is one small wooden plank bridge on the northern end of the river, which is cool but similar to other ideas we have talked about. But there are 3 incredible stone bridges that are located within the town. I love stone bridges a lot in general, so seeing them in Stardew Valley is just really cool, especially when most of the bridges we see are made out of wood. What is generally a simple idea becomes much more unique just because there aren't really other examples of this in the game. But the general design of this type of stone bridge is also really cool, and I enjoy seeing them a lot and walking across them. It makes sense that out of any location in the game, these are located in Pelican Town. Stardew Valley is fun because there are a lot of interesting and unique areas that you can explore, but one of the most important areas is definitely Pelican Town, a center of culture within the valley that is decently well built up and home to so many incredible people. And that's my list. I hope you enjoyed. This is definitely a silly idea, but I do just love exploring stuff like this in video games. You may have never thought about the bridges in Stardew Valley before, but they do have a pretty big impact on your gameplay because you use them all the time. I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Have a good one, everyone.